including your name, tell me a little about yourself and your background as you feel it relates to the coaching profession.
Hi, I'm Courtney Lord. So I grew up in a small town called Buda, Texas. It's right outside of Austin. And I played basketball my whole life, and I actually ended up only running track because basketball made us. And I was a walk-on here at SHSU State. And the reason that I'm applying for this job right now is because I just fell in love with the sport of track. And yeah, that's why I'm here right now.
What traits do you feel are necessary for an athlete to possess to achieve success in your sport?
I think the three traits that are very important to me are hardworking, discipline, and trusting. I think hardworking is definitely the most important one of those because track, especially is a game of inches, it's a game of fractions of a second, and the difference from one athlete to the next is going to be who's willing to work the hardest. And so I think that's definitely very important. Yeah, the most important aspect to have, and I think that also ties into discipline because no matter how important or how hardworking the athlete is, they need to be disciplined off the track as well, or it's not going to matter. They need to be disciplined in their social life, making sure they're not drinking too much, and be disciplined in their sleeping habits, and be disciplined in their school and what they're eating as well. And then I also think, lastly, that trusting is very important to me because if the athlete's not buying into what I'm selling, then there's going to be a lot of frustration, a lot of miscommunication there. So it's very important for the athlete to trust what I'm telling them.
What is your philosophy on discipline and how it relates to athletes?
My philosophy on discipline would be that it's very important to me. I would like to say that just because the athlete's 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, that they can be disciplined in themselves, but I know as a college athlete that's not the case for me. They would need to be disciplined, and if they're a minute late to practice, I'm going to discipline them. If they're lacking in their studies, I'm going to discipline them, and if they're cutting corners in practice, they're going to have to start over or do something. I definitely think discipline is one of the most important aspects to have.
What person or event has had the most influence in your life and why?
I would say the event that has the most influence in my life is my freshman year conference. And it's not because I did well, it's actually the opposite. I got 10th place. I was coming in and I wanted to get 8th place, and I didn't get that, and I was absolutely crushed when that happened. And I decided at that moment that I did not want to be below average anymore, and so that whole summer and the rest of the year I worked as hard as I could, and that's when I fell in love with the grind of track, and that's why I'm here right now, is because I just fell in love and had such a passion for the sport because I did so bad my freshman year.
What coaching skills do you feel you're strong in?
The coaching skills I feel like I'm strong in are a good communicator. I think that's very important. And I think that's very important for a coach to have so that their athletes and me can be on the same page. I also think it's very important to be organized, especially wanting to coach a multi-event. You're going to have to organize between 7 or 10 events, and that takes a lot of planning. And also, I think it's very important to stay up to date. I think it's very important to stay up to date with what's going on in the track world. Things are constantly changing, and there's always something to be learning, and I think that's something that I can be very good at.
How do you define success for yourself, for your athletes, for the pros?
I think success for myself, I would take, at the beginning of the year, I'd have, my group of athletes, and I would just say 75% of them, I want them to score. And if they do that at the end of the year, that would be successful for me. And I think that for my athletes, success would mean that they're getting better each week, each month, each year. And as long as they're progressively getting better, I think that's a success for them. I think for the program, especially at SHSU State, success would mean winning all 4 titles. And I think that's something that's definitely achievable.